Capital One says it closed some of President Trump and his organization's accounts with their bank in 2021 because of money laundering concerns. Trump has sued the bank over the closures, alleging political retaliation following the January 6th Capitol riot. Ross Delston joins us now. He's an attorney and anti-money laundering specialist. Ross, when I read in this court filing submitted by Capital One, quote, it said the closures were the result of months of analysis and a careful review by Capital One's anti-money laundering team in accordance with bank policies and regulatory guidance. Ross, that did not sound to me like your garden variety legal filing. It sounded like a very big deal to me. Is it?
Well, it sounds like the bank did what it's supposed to do, which is to look at suspicious activities very carefully, particularly when there's an ultra high risk person like the president. At that point, he was the former president. So they did that. It sounds like they followed the rules correctly. And yes, a high risk account that's dabbling in suspicious activities for which suspicious activity reports have been filed, possibly. We're not allowed to know about that in any detail because it's protected by law. Yeah, all of that sounds like the right thing for a bank to do.
And I understand there are times in litigation when both sides will flex and accuse each other of things to try to get to a settlement or get to something. This feels like Capital One is doing in a way that is beyond that sort of legal typical flexing. It's disclosing something it was not trying to initially disclose, but with a countersuit filed by the Trump organization, felt it was obligated to do so.
Well, there certainly is an implied threat, as you've said, which is you really want to pursue us, Mr. President. We've got lots of bad stuff that we analyzed, investigated, that we documented about your accounts. If you want us to release that, we could. I mean, that's the implied threat.
Right. And we should just stand back for a second, Ross, and say 2021, he's no longer the president, but this would suggest activities while he was president. I'm a pretty good student of presidential history, Ross. I don't remember a previous episode where a president, even just slightly removed from office, had ever been accused of having anything close to money laundering implications about his finances.
Well, we have to be careful here, Major, that
Okay.
we're not clear on what the suspicious activities were. Yes, it could be money laundering. It could also be some other type of financial crime. It could be insider trading because the president gets awfully close to that. It could be corruption because the president has a propensity to get into that sort of violation of law, or at least allegations of violations of law. But whatever it's also not clear what the time period is, whether it's while he was president or after he was president, or for that matter, before he was president. I mean, they're supposed to document all of this as part of their investigation.
And we're talking about some 325 accounts over about a decade or longer, Ross. So this is a longstanding relationship.
Yes, and any bank that is brave enough to take on the president doesn't have a lot of my sympathies. The president is a man who has defaulted on loans to banks. He has sued banks. He sues vendors. He's declared bankruptcy multiple times. So you really want this guy as a client? Good luck.
And Ross, before I let you go, if it were me and I were accused by a bank in litigation of this, I would be screaming at the top of my lungs, I didn't do it. I may have missed that response from the Trump organization, but I haven't come across it.
Well, it isn't clear. He certainly talks a lot about reputation and retaliation and political stuff. It isn't clear all of his defenses at this point. But if you were to ever be accused of such a thing, you have to remember, and this is the president's risk here, which is The more he talks about it, the more it's known. So he's not going to win this case. I mean, people ask me whether I would take cases like this. I don't take hopeless cases. But by talking about it, he's making it known to a broader audience. Why do that?
From Ross Delston, hopeless case. I appreciate the time, sir, and your expertise. Thank you.